What if finding yourself meant breaking the rules you were born to follow? Pixar's Elemental explores this very question through Ember's journey. Her story resonates with anyone who has ever felt trapped by expectations, be they societal, familial, or self-imposed. Through Ember, Elemental teaches us what true self-worth is about, embracing who we are rather than molding ourselves to fit the expectations of others. From the very beginning, Ember is introduced as a passionate and fiery individual, both literally and figuratively. Her fire is her identity. It's what makes her unique. She is deeply connected to her family's immigrant roots, and her father's shop represents their resilience and hard work in a society where elements often clash. Ember's goal of taking over the shop stems from a place of gratitude and loyalty. Yet, as the story unfolds, it becomes clear that her drive to succeed isn't entirely her own. It's entangled in the pressure to live up to her family's sacrifices and to preserve their legacy. This is a feeling that many can relate to, especially those raised in environments where family, tradition, and expectations weigh heavily. Whether it's continuing a family business, pursuing a particular career, or living up to cultural expectations, the sense of obligation can blur the line between personal desires and external pressures. Ember's fiery temper becomes a metaphor for this internal struggle, as she constantly battles feelings of frustration, inadequacy, and self-doubt. She believes that controlling her temper and perfecting herself are the keys to earning her father's approval and her own sense of self-worth. Enter Wade, a carefree, empathetic water element who contrasts sharply with Ember's fiery, tightly wound personality. Wade isn't just a romantic interest. He serves as a catalyst for Ember's transformation. Where Ember sees flaws, Wade sees strengths. He admires her creativity, intelligence, and passion, qualities that Ember has been too burdened by self-doubt to recognize in herself. Wade's perspective teaches Ember that her individuality isn't something to be hidden or fixed, but rather something to be celebrated. This dynamic highlights the importance of surrounding ourselves with people who uplift us and help us see the value in our uniqueness. Wade doesn't ask Ember to change, nor does he diminish her struggles. Instead, he encourages her to see herself through a kinder, more accepting lens. His presence acts as a mirror, reflecting back to Ember the qualities she couldn't acknowledge on her own. The pivotal moment of self-acceptance, the turning points in Elemental, is when Ember chooses to pursue her own path instead of inheriting her father's shop. This decision is monumental, not because it represents a rejection of her family, but because it symbolizes her reclaiming her identity. It's an act of self-acceptance, as Ember embraces her fiery nature and decides to channel it into something that brings her joy and fulfillment. This moment resonates deeply because it challenges the pervasive idea that self-worth is earned by meeting external standards. For Ember, stepping away from the shop is not a failure. It's a declaration that her worth is independent of how well she fulfills someone else's vision of success. Her journey reminds us that self-worth isn't about how much we give or how perfectly we align with others' expectations. It's about recognizing and celebrating who we are. The broader lesson on self-worth, Ember's story is deeply relatable because it mirrors the experiences of so many people. How often do we tie ourselves to external validation? Whether it's excelling in a career, achieving academic success, or fulfilling family obligations, many of us fall into the trap of believing that our value is conditional. Like Ember, we chase approval, thinking that if we just work harder, sacrifice more, or achieve perfection, we'll finally feel enough. But Elemental teaches us that self-worth comes from within. It's about recognizing and embracing what makes you unique. Your own fire, so to speak. It's about understanding that your worth isn't something you earn. It's something you inherently possess. When we stop trying to meet everyone else's expectations and start focusing on what truly brings us joy, we begin to discover who we really are. Ember's journey is reminiscent of many other stories, both in fiction and real life. Take Moana, for example. Much like Ember, Moana feels the weight of her family's expectations. Her people expect her to stay on the island and become their leader, but her heart tells her to venture out to the sea. Moana's journey of self-discovery leads her to embrace her identity as a wayfinder and chart her own course, just as Ember learns to pursue her passions rather than conform to others' visions of success. Similarly, in Encanto, Mirabel struggles with feelings of inadequacy because she doesn't possess a magical gift like the rest of her family. She believes her worth is tied to what she can contribute to the family's legacy. However, through her journey, Mirabel learns that her value isn't defined by her abilities, but by her heart, resilience, and love for her family. Like Ember, Mirabel's story is a testament to the power of self-acceptance. In real life, stories of self-worth often emerge when people step away from societal expectations to follow their true passions. Whether it's an artist choosing their craft over a traditional career path, or someone leaving a high-paying job to find fulfillment in a simpler life, these decisions are acts of courage and self-acceptance. So how do you begin your own journey to self-worth? Start by asking yourself, what truly lights me up? What are the things that make me feel alive, authentic, and fulfilled? Reflect on whether your current path is one you've chosen for yourself or one shaped by others' expectations. Like Ember, you might discover that stepping away from those expectations is the key to embracing who you truly are. Remember, self-worth isn't something you earn through perfection. It's about recognizing your unique traits, embracing your individuality, and understanding that you are enough just as you are. Whether your fire is creativity, kindness, intelligence, or something entirely different, let it shine. And don't let anyone dim it. Ember's journey in Elemental is a powerful reminder that self-worth comes from within. By learning to love and accept ourselves, flaws and all, we can find our own spark and let it guide us to a life that feels true and fulfilling. So take a moment today to honor your own fire and let it burn brightly.